lot safer in our town, so.
I think from my standpoint, I'm worried about the liability of the town. We put it, I mean, we're on a map showing that it's a trail system. It's
And-
like,
Well, I mean, we already have residents riding their bikes through there, so I mean, it's not.
Oh, it's
yeah,
huge.
already
but
don't.
this is tourism, I mean, this is
Yeah.
a big thing.
Yeah, these guys are all in their decked out thing blowing, yeah, I know, you
I've seen
yeah,
them.
they-
I've seen them
Two
do the
and
whole
three and
route.
four and pull it
Yeah, I
out.
went down to the dump of the transfer station, passed them, and by the time I came back, they were crossing the highway going across Duke Lane, so they're doing that exact path.
People down 2000 are doing this in and out of people doing this and back, and I watched 3 groups with 6 cars going between the two four-ways, and it was kind of a joke.
Yeah. Well, and it's definitely exposure to the town residents, to a lot more traffic, and I'm kind of, like I said, I'm concerned more about our liability of being on a map, being identified as a trail system.
I just don't know how it could be liable. I mean,
Well, then they could sue a town.
If somebody
and
gets
an
hurt, they're gonna
individual,
throw our name right in there.
Along
But
with
the,
the
ru-
individual.
the map shows it going through our town, thereby the town's involved.
Anybody with pockets?
Whose road is it? Does it belong to you?
It's a town.
So can't you go ahead and put a bike ordinance in place that they have to ride single file?
You know, those are some issues that have actually been discussed and supposedly from the state, that they're just as open and legal from the state, so we can't trump the state as
They
far as
just
that.
came
We can
out.
do some signage. I was told we can report it to the sheriff's office and start giving tickets. The sheriff would give tickets, not the town. But there's very few remedies to deal with some of the problems and at this point, but I think there's more than a few remedies, so.
the bikers actually had more rights than the people in cars. You gotta stay
3 feet away.
3 feet away, and actually, if they're in front of you, they have the right of way.
Sure.
And there was something else, because Park City was going through, I mean, it's been inundated since the bike races that are coming through Park City now. Everybody takes over the road, and you as a driver, literally, if the guy wants to ride down the center of the road, he can ride down the center of the road, no matter if he's not meeting that speed limit. He can hold up backup traffic as long as he wants. You cannot force him to come over. You have to stay to 3 feet clearance. It was crazy, it's ridiculous.
Wasn't Salt Lake City's deemed legal the way they had it, spacing and that?
You can't force them to go single file either, that was the other thing.
No, there was something about their lanes being illegal, how they set it up.
Oh, yeah, but that was a traffic lane. They just closed the traffic lanes down to accommodate a bike lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, the traffic lane was under the.
Probably for firemen, you
I just
had
love
to have,
that.
you had to have a certain amount of width for the.
We have a great issue downtown with the bikes. And that's why I thought that they had to be single file, or at least only double in many parts of the road in Salt Lake County. And in downtown, I think they have to maintain in certain roads, the lane is only big enough for one bike. And I swear I've seen signs that say single file or no more than 2 in Salt Lake City.
Well, and the exposure as far as even me, I mean, that was the gentleman that did the report on me on the dog from Salt Lake City, up here jogging on the trail system.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so he's up here jogging on the trail system,
Yeah.
and so now the sheriff comes out and writes me a ticket for a dog at large. You know, it's like that's exposure to this town. I mean, we're here for a reason, it's our lifestyle, and you get people coming in from out of town, they have different views. Well, that's a wild pack animal out there. I mean, it's a big deal, so that's what I'm saying, exposure to the town residents is huge.
Yeah.
They come up here to jog because there's no traffic. Well, there's a reason there's no traffic.
Who's going to be paying for your signs that say bike lane and all that stuff? Does it come from the town?
It'd come from the municipality for sure if you were to put something like that up.
You know, I never did understand a great amount of money. There was just one route between 30th and 3rd South, 30th and 3rd West in Salt Lake City. That section of road is $1 million. And they added a little curbing in it, their own private little driveway. It's too small for a regular plow to go down, so they had to buy a new plow for that. And they don't even ride on it. 90% of them don't ride on that lane. And it affected the fire department's ability to get into the ladder reaching the buildings and that, because they set the setback in, and they took it all out. So, but all those bike lanes, all the cost for the paint, for the striping, in fact, the first thing they did is stripe downtown, bike lanes. None of the other lanes nothing else gets painted until the bike lanes are. And the signs, there's like 2 or 3 signs per block. Who pays for that? There's no, you know, sales tax, the bicyclists are not, I don't know if this can, I don't know the legalities of getting the municipality to say, okay, to ride through our town, you must be licensed as a bicyclist, as you would a motorcycle or an ATV or a snowmobile.
I brought that up to a guy who's in this county and also, I don't know if he works for MAG or if he works for UDOT, but he's in the meetings. He's right across the last meeting that we had for the Highway 40. Kind of a blonder haired guy, so it's not Doug, it's Jim.
Yeah.
He rides a lot of bikes, and he'd called me one day about Heber City's having a community in Wasatch County having this bike awareness week. And not maybe they had it or it's coming up, but anyway, it's something that they want everyone to be more friendly about. And people say, well, we ride in the middle because there's rocks on the side, and I kind of said, well, you know, do you fish right next to the clear water, right next to the river? Just because that's the best fishing, you know? Well, no, we ride over here. Well, isn't that more unsafe to ride over here? And it's very illogical for me. It's illogical for me for all the bicyclists to say how safe it is for them on these, especially the Daniel Road, because you don't even have enough road for 2 cars, let alone 2 cars on a bike.
Or maintenance for it. I mean, I don't, I sat in the meeting at the county council when they had the lady there from, I think she's from UDOT, the one that promotes this bike thing. And I just sat there, shook my head the whole way through it. She's promoting this, and trying to get the municipalities here in the county to buy off on this.
It's a lot of money in.
And where's the money coming from? I mean, the initial money would come from, she said, from like the state and other programs, but the maintenance is gonna be on you and the Wasatch County and Heber and.
Can we go back and tell them, hey, we didn't agree to that?
Well, I don't know, I mean, that's why I bring it up. The county has they're having a track record here of trying to run over this town. We're pretty hard to run over, but we have a road that they actually punched into our town on the master transportation plan from the county after we became a town, and I'm like, where'd this come from? So they say, no, it's been there the whole time, so I produced the map that shows it wasn't there when we was incorporated, and now it's there. Now they're talking that they have to have a public hearing to get it off, change their transportation plan. I mean, it just seems so outrageous.
And Eric's comment was, okay,
So we'll do it.
have the public hearing.
Get her done.
Let's get it
I
done.
don't care what you have to do.
We have a public meeting here,
That's
part of
almost like
March.
the easement factor, you know, when they gave away our easement. They gave something away that they didn't have. You just put a road in that wasn't there, so why do you need to have, you didn't have a public hearing to put it in, why do you need one to take one back out? It wasn't there.
It's like
Yeah.
Never there
illegal
to begin.
construction.
Yeah, and it's UDOT's map, so, and the county's like, well, we put it on there. It's like, how can you do that? You can't put a road through my town. What are you thinking? You could, you know, it's not on our transportation plan. So anyway, that's the trend that seems to be going on, and we're getting more and more of, I think that's why I bring it up. There's just more and more of the county that's been able to overstep. I mean, they get, Title 17 is where they get their power from. That's the same title that we get our power from. Their power stays unless it infringes on the municipality's power. So we trump the county. It's plain.
Where does our
Title 17
representative stand on this for the county,
For the county,
our Bangor?
he has not been to the meetings.
Because, I mean, he's supposed to be there, he lives right on the street, but now the bike.
Yeah, and I don't know, I don't even know where they discussed this bike route. We was at another meeting for Highway 40, and they produced this map, and we're like,
I'll tell you where I stand on the bikes. I have seen it work downtown and not work downtown. I agree that the bicyclists have a right to drive on the road, just like you do, you and I do. They drove, before this big bike push of where they get all these rights and lanes and all that stuff free, I'm opposed to the free. But they want to ride, in the way I look at it, if I was king of the world, they would be paying a license like you do for a motorcycle, or you do for a boat, or whatever. They have to, 18 to 55 must pay a usage fee. Basically register the bike every year, and if they don't have that license, the bike gets impounded, they can't drive through your municipality. That will pay for signs, paint, everything else. I don't mind it. Do you want to share the road, like they say? Share the cost, because the cost has come from somewhere else. It does.
Yeah, I like that.
well, and I don't blame them coming up here. I wouldn't ride my bike in Salt Lake either. I mean,
I don't know why not. They've got every lane, every other road downtown is a bike lane.
it is, but that paint don't slow down a car.
That's true. Any other announcements, Lynn?
No.
comments for the council?
Did he need us to do this change order? Ryan dropped that on his way out
I think you did.
before we adjourned. I guess I just had a question on the Schultz. Where do we stand on that lawsuit?
I have not had even a comment from Dale in 8 months to a year about it, not even an update, not anything about it.
If we send an email and ask him, he bills us $50.
And it takes him a month,
And I don't know how you
and it takes 3
get
of them.
around that.
So it's just,
Just to
I mean,
find
are
out
we
what's
missing
happening.
dates? Are we don't know?
All we know is that he went to a hearing in December to either ask that it be dismissed or for the judge to make a ruling on what's next. And nothing since, like the judge has not decided what he's gonna do yet.
And
Oh,
back,
That's my assumption.
and back then, we did ask, but never really got an answer back then, and thus we have not had some months. It went to federal court, as we mentioned, he tried to get it out, it stayed there, it's there as far as I know, and I've not heard more.
So it's on the federal document.
Because he filed too late to get it back, so taken back to the state.
Our attorney filed too late.
No, our attorney did it right. He, Schultz, tried to, a week after the deadline, tried to take it back to the state court.
Oh.
So our attorney got it into federal court, and
And that's where we wanted it,
that's
right?
where we wanted it.
Okay.
And that's the last thing I've heard.
I'll see if I can get something from his assistant without being charged.
Well, I just haven't heard
Even though-
anything.
I know.
It's worth $50 for finding.
And I'm starting to get calls on that property again.
Oh,
And also on the Smith property. I'm looking to subdivide. They're looking to subdivide the Smith property.
Yeah, well, how, 11?
What's that?
How big is the space? No, it's 9, or 707, isn't it?
the one on 3000 South Smith?
No, Daniel Road,
Oh.
Oh,
Is that
the one that had all the cars.
Oh,
right.
is that under 10 acres?
I think it is actually,
Just over, or under 15?
I think that was a lot, wasn't he actively pursuing going into the Heber?
well, no, because they've threatened that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they lost that. The bank owns that parcel now. Actually, I don't think they lost it. I think the bank bought it. So, but it's under bank ownership anyway, either, however that worked. But
Do you
the
think
calls
it's-
I'm getting wants to subdivide.
Do you think that's over 10 acres?
I think it is over 10 acres, but they don't want to divide it in two.
Oh, well, that's all they can do.
Well, it's the neighborhood, it's the guy, probably the guy next to it that came before the house when I still had the cars and wanted to buy it and suck it into Heber.
Now, this guy says he looks like he's out of town because he was out of Ogden, so this guy was out of Ogden. We're starting to get a lot of calls, and filling a lot of calls again, so.
Oh, yeah, they want to subdivide it into
Yes.
quarter acre stuff.
Yeah, I think you are.
Didn't say anything else about that, but it didn't.
He just dropped that, and I thought, well,
I'll get it to Lynn, that's,
okay.
to get copies of it, so,
I would like to make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
We have a motion to adjourn, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, any last discussion before we close out the meeting? All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Nay. Swell. Yeah.